Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Los Angeles, California, the heart of the Golden State where dreams come alive. From the bustling streets of downtown to the scenic views of Malibu, experience the magic of Los Angeles. Enjoy your journey.
Hello fam, welcome to the channel, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Nefetare Aten, and here on this channel we discuss current events, news events, social media, and things that happen in our country on a daily basis, hour by hour, minute by minute. There's never a dull moment here in these Americas. So today I want to discuss the wildfires just briefly. I'm going to let my video do the talking for myself. However, I noticed that a lot of people have done this video and they gave their own interpretation of it. And I have noticed that a lot of people have been coming from a spiritual standpoint, and that's where I'm coming from today. And I wanted to convey what I actually think is going on from my own perspective. So if you are living here in America for any length of time, especially if you look like me and you're a foundational FBA, then you know what it's like living here and some of the things that go on. And it's spiritual warfare. You know, there's spiritual warfare going on, and a lot of people are not really focused on it or don't believe it. And here in America, so many people are trying to just staying focused on trying to survive, trying to feed their family, trying to stay warm, trying to keep from burning up and keep their jobs, keep themselves from being homeless. There's just so many things that keep you preoccupied, and you never get a chance to sit down and realize that we're in the midst of a spiritual warfare. And if we're not lined up and in tune with the Spirit of the Most High, then we're going to miss the mark and more than likely not make it into the realm of where the Most High wants us to be. So we have to, in spite of everything that's going on, we have to stay focused, keep the Most High first. In my first video, after my fast for the first 3 days in 2025, I came up with the 20 principles. If you look at one of the videos on my channel, it's a 7-minute and 55-second video. It talks about the principles and it's narrated. So that way you can use those principles as a guide through your life. Because with us being in a spiritual warfare, we can't use our own mind. We have to have the guidance of the Most High, because there's so much trickery going on. There's so many scams, and people are not really for you. You know, when you read those principles, you'll understand what I mean when I say everyone is not for you, especially when they're trying to survive. So today, if you look at my thumbnail, it says fire and ice. And I have my notes here that I just want to do a brief synopsis on so you can understand where I'm coming from and what the video is all about. So fire and ice, and I know many people have heard of that before, and maybe not in the context of what I'm about to discuss, but we know the difference between fire and ice, but I'm going to correlate that spiritually, okay? So fire equals judgment, purification, and God's presence. I'm sure you've been noticing a lot of people have been talking about the judgment and how the judgment's on America, judgment's on Babylon, what they may say. But judgment's been on America. America won't never do right, especially by the people of the Most High. They're not going to do right. They're going to hold them hostage until they can't do it anymore, or until the Lord makes them let us go. Okay, so fire, judgment, purification, and God's presence. Fire often symbolizes God's judgment or purification in the Bible. For example, in Malachi, the 3rd chapter, 2 and 3 speaks of God as a refiner's fire, purifying his people. Now, you can use these scriptures. You can write them down if you like. It's Malachi, the 3rd chapter, 2 through 3. It speaks on God as a refiner's fire, purifying his people. Fire also represents God's presence, as seen in Exodus 3, chapter 3, verse 2, where God appears to Moses in the burning bush. I know everyone knows that story. And in Acts, the second chapter, the third verse, with the tongues of fire at Pentecost. Now we're going to talk about ice or the cold. A lot of us don't like cold weather. We'd rather be in the middle. At least I do. I hate to be cold. But cold is hardness of heart and judgment, while ice is not directly referenced as frequently as fire is in the Bible. Coldness can symbolize spiritual coldness or a lack of love. As seen in Matthew 24, verse 12, where Jesus was warning that that in the end times, the love of many will wax cold. And then you think about people here all over the place, but mainly here in America, people don't love you. There's so many people doing so much wickedness. I mean, I just did an article about the lady breaking babies' legs in the hospital. I mean, how wicked can you be to even think of doing something like that? So the love of many are waxing cold. This is waxing cold. If that ain't spiritual warfare alone, I don't know what is. That's terrible. I can't even think of that. And frost and hail, often associated with cold, are used as tools of God's judgment. Like in Exodus chapter 9, 23 through 25, when hail strikes Egypt during the plagues. Now, fire and ice is the thumbnail in the title of my video here. So I'm going to put those two together. Fire and ice together, balance of justice and mercy. Duality of fire and ice reflects the balance of God's justice and mercy. God uses both to achieve his purpose. Fire to refine and cold to bring stiffness or judgment. This video was about fire and ice, how the fires in the west and the coldness in the east, how together it's balancing, and that in nature, Mother Nature is going to clean its earth. However you feel, if you're in the way, if you're not natural to the planet, you will be eliminated, period. And as far as just coldness, I'm here in Houston. And they spray the skies. I know people don't want to believe this, but they spray the skies. And when you go outside and when you happen to have a break in between those clouds, the sun is so nice and warm. See, God don't have nothing to do with this. This stuff right here is done by man and his wickedness. And eventually they're going to pay for it. So regardless of how you voted, at the end of the day, it don't even matter. The wickedness, man has his own plan on what he want to do. And how you vote is not going to change the plans. You have to be a wicked person, have a wicked mind to want to destroy a beautiful earth and the people in it. But then again, you think about some of the evil things people do. Some of them deserve exactly what they get. But it's not for us to make the determination who gets what and when. It's up to the will of the Most High. And he's the one that judges. He's the one who gets the final say and makes the final determination of what needs to be done to who and when. It's not up to us. My prayers go to all those who are suffering across this globe, across the United States, from the east to the west. I'm a truck driver and I go all over the place and I see a lot of stuff. I can't imagine. Well, last year I was in my truck. I was in my truck here in Houston. It was cold. I stayed in my truck for about 3 months. And I see a lot of homeless people. And I felt like one when I was out there, when I was waiting on God to give me an answer for something. I stayed in my truck for a long time, but I had somewhere to stay and I could turn my truck on. But there's so many people out here who have nothing, whether they deserve it or not, whether they lost their job or not, but they are destitute. And there's not really many people out here willing to help. And that's the love of many waxing cold by itself. So if we don't think that spiritual warfare is having an effect on our human mind, on our thought processes every day, and ever since this new election have taken place, people have been cold-hearted. People don't care if you eat long as they do. People drawing red lines. You can't live here. You gotta live over there until the house get burned down. Everybody wants you to pray and come on the same team because we all on the same team. We're not all on the same team. We only we will never be on the same team because we've been isolated. And there's red lines that have been drawn. And we're not the ones that draw them. Those red lines were drawn to make sure people don't go cross the lines. If you can't live here, you can't stay here. And then sometimes you think about it, you don't have to do anything. God will do whatever it is He's going to do. Because He sees what's unjust. He sees and He knows who does what to who. Your goal is to stay in the will of the Most High. Keep God first. In all your ways, acknowledge Him and let Him direct your path. Because with this spiritual warfare, you're not going to make the decisions that are necessary to keep you because you don't know the things that are going on around you. Out of all these people who voted for Trump, and when they found out they made the wrong decision, now you can't find one who did vote for Trump. So just knowing that, let you know you can't trust nobody. You can't trust what they say or what they do. So you need to keep your hand in the Most High's hand and stay focused on where He wants you to go and let Him direct your path. So I'm not going to keep talking. Now, I just ask you to like and subscribe. If you have been impacted by what's going on in America, just leave a comment, leave an email. Like and share. We're greatly appreciated. You're not going to hear no more from me. I'm going to go ahead and let this video play. And I want to say thank you for all those who watch my videos. You know, although I'm a truck driver, I'm all over the place, and sometimes I can't get the video out like I want to. Sometimes the internet is not working like it should. But I do the best I can, and I really appreciate your patience. So my heart goes out to all those who are in need. My prayers are with you. All praises to the Most High. Be balanced. Be excellent. Just be.
Matthew 24:37-39. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. This passage highlights how people were living their lives as usual, focused on earthly pleasures and distractions, without heeding the warnings of impending judgment. It draws a parallel to how many may be oblivious to spiritual signs in present times, emphasizing the need for vigilance and preparedness.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Los Angeles, California, the heart of the Golden State where dreams come alive. From the bustling streets of downtown to the scenic views of Malibu, experience the magic of Los Angeles. Enjoy your journey.
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders, and we walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.
The famous Hollywood sign is engulfed as its acrylic latex paint feeds the fire. But the 50-foot-tall letters will survive the scorching, because although they look like wood, they're actually made from steel.
I think I'm having a breakdown because I've been so stressed about these fucking fires. I'm hearing of old coworkers losing their entire home. Friends of friends' apartments just completely gone. It has been such a difficult, 2 years for everyone who's worked in the industry. There's no fucking jobs. There hasn't been any jobs, and now all these people who have been struggling are having to just grab a fucking bag real quick and leave. When it's not like we didn't know that this shit was gonna happen. It keeps happening all over the fucking state. So why haven't we prepared? Why haven't we done anything to have some kind of reserve or something? No, just spend more money on fucking cops. Yeah, that's gonna fucking save all of us.
Swing round, come on, chill with me. I got your favorite show recorded on my TV, but we don't have to watch that, no. I'll turn off the radio. So won't you pick up, and we can link up. It's not a hookup. Don't think about it too much, too much. You just need to pick up, then we can link up. Don't think about it too much.
This entire building completely engulfed in flames.
The fire started coming from down the mountain.
Winds are about to get even more worse in a couple of hours.
This home is a complete loss.
A van completely engulfed in flames, along with firefighters are trying to fight that fire, and another fire starts immediately.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, man.
Everyone, welcome back. January 8th, 2025, and we are clearly covering the Palisades fire as well as at least 4 other fires. There is a video I need to show you that I posted a few months ago during the Ventura fire. Some of you may have seen this, but this video has never been more important than it is today. It is literally showing Area 51 and military craft over that area laying something in the sky. It could be chaff, it could be something else. It then flows directly to Southern California without fail, right where the fires are. I posted this video on X and it is currently going super viral. Watch this video and then tell me what you think when it comes down to Area 51, the fact that they canceled so many people's insurance, fire insurance, in the last couple months, and they have no water to put these fires out. These fires are 0% contained, all 5 of them, and it's just getting worse and worse. My friends, this video is going to blow your minds. Please share it in case it gets removed, because this is touching on some stuff that cannot be explained right now. Enjoy. All right, everyone, welcome back. This is going to blow your mind. Once again, we are looking at Area 51. As these fires are going on in Southern California, they are laying something over Area 51. It's then being shot by the NEXRAD radar system. You can see that clear as day right here. It is then expanding and being dropped right over Southern California. And then take a look at what happens to Area 51. This is totally insane. This is not normal, and this is not birds or bugs. I can promise you that. There is something very odd going on with the military or something that's taking place in Area 51 and then being dropped in the sky, which is then carried over by the jet stream or some sort of wind pattern into Southern California. I talked about this yesterday when we predicted these wildfires based on a northwest anomaly that we saw, again from the NEXRAD radar system, which then led to insane wildfires in Ventura County. Now we are seeing more and more of this being dumped over Area 51 and then flows into Southern California. What is going on here? And then look at how the NEXRAD towers go absolutely berserk. There is no chance that this isn't related, my friends. This is now 2 days in a row we have captured this happening over Area 51 and flowing down into Southern California, exactly where these wildfires are. And I know a lot of people will give us a hard time for talking about this, but how can you not? This is not a coincidence whatsoever, and I'm going to continue digging into this to see exactly how long they continue this for. If you look close enough, you can find stuff like this every day on these satellite charts. Alright, so one final time, let's dissect this. Right here, we have it dropped over Area 51, a perfect lineup with where the base is, and just like yesterday, as soon as it's laid out, we have the zap coming from the radar, the same one coming from Nevada right here. Then we have the expansion as it moves into Southern California. Just like yesterday, those radars start going off and crazy, and that's when this disco party begins in Nevada. Check this out. This is just unbelievable to see happening and then have no one point this out. Just as the cloud is getting over Southern California where all the wildfires are, we start seeing the NEXRAD towers from different states crisscrossing right over Area 51. Those are where our scalar beams are happening, and this is just insane to watch. You can see that cloud dissipating over Southern California, and the Baja will backtrack. You can see it come back, and it originates right over Area 51, my friends. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please share this video. This one will get attacked for sure, but it's time each and every one of us stand our ground and show people what we believe in. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Job 37, 9-10. Out of the south cometh the whirlwind, and cold out of the north. By the breath of God frost is given, and the breath of the waters is straitened. This scripture highlights how God controls both the heat and the cold, showing his sovereignty over all extremes. It serves as a perfect bridge to explore how ice can symbolize stillness, reflection, and the need for resilience in frozen times of life.
-20 degrees is expected in northern parts of the UK tonight as Britain's New Year freeze reaches its climax. The Arctic conditions that have sent temperatures plummeting will continue this weekend before it warms up on Monday. Disruption is continuing to be felt across the country, like in Yorkshire where 23 visitors and 6 members of staff were trapped at Britain's highest pub for days. After being snowed in on Saturday, some members of staff at the Tan Hill Inn were only able to leave on Thursday when another staff member was able to reach the pub. Fearing they would run out of food, a local supermarket used a tractor to ship them emergency sausages and wine.
Tens of millions of Americans dig out from the first major winter storm of the new year. Indiana, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and New Jersey are among nearly a dozen states that have been buried in snow and ice since Sunday. In the hardest hit areas, it's up to 1.5 feet deep. That means dangerous conditions on the roads along a stretch of more than 1,000 miles from the Central Plains all the way to the Northeast. At least 5 people have been killed in crashes in Kansas and Missouri. Thousands of flights have been impacted and hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses have lost power. We have a team of reporters covering the widespread impacts, beginning with CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano, who's on the National Mall in an area better known for cherry blossoms, but looks different tonight. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, Nora. I know pink blossoms here tonight in January. Nothing but white. D.C. getting slammed with the worst snowstorm they've seen in at least 5 years. Nearly 8 inches of snow falling, and it's still coming down. Parts of Kansas seeing 20 inches of snow. In the past 3 days, this storm has made a ferocious trek across the country.
Over 1/2 foot of winter white quickly piling up in the nation's capital. A city that averages just over 18 inches of snow a year. So its relatively small fleet of plows is struggling to keep the roads clear. Work crews using smaller scale tactics to move the snow, power sweepers and leaf blowers on sidewalks. And lots of hand shovelers like T. McGeevy, one of many workers hired to help for the day.
It's kind of tough. I wish I had a snow blower.
Allison Gitlin is a federal employee using her snow day as a rare D.C. ski day. Even the giant pandas at the National Zoo are getting in on the fun. This is the same system that buried parts of the Midwest over the weekend, hitting Kansas City, Missouri with its biggest blizzard in 3 decades. And the storm is still making a mess on the highways, stranding drivers and stalling tractor trailers.
I'm Manuel Bajorquez traveling north along I-65 in Kentucky, where conditions go from bad to worse the closer you get to Louisville. Along the outskirts of the city, we drove past emergency crews on the scene of a car that slid off the road and ended up on its side. The icy conditions captured by one person who rolled down their car window only to reveal a sheet of ice. The concern is a thick enough coating could bring down branches, leading to power outages. Louisville saw the most snow on a single day in 25 years Sunday, with 9 inches. More fell today as people tried to dig out.
I'm Chris Van Cleve at Chicago O'Hare Airport. Crews here are dealing with freezing rain and frigid temperatures. That is causing delays across the board here, in part because every single airplane has to be de-iced. In other parts of the Midwest, all the way out to the Northeast, airports are being impacted from this storm. In many places, it's digging out from or being hammered by snow. That means thousands of delays and cancellations today alone. And this is going to be a challenging week as another storm is set to move through. Rob?
We do have another one coming, an update from Reagan National. They are shutting down the runways there tonight to clear the snow so that they don't have things refreeze on the airfield in the morning, because that's what's going to happen. And we'll see temperatures dropping tonight. Take a look at some of these numbers across really the eastern 2/3 of the country. It's going to feel like 13 degrees in Louisville, feel like -5 in Kansas City, and this will settle down into the south come Wednesday and Thursday, which is bad news with the next system that's coming into Texas on Thursday. Dallas may get a little bit of snow with this. Little Rock back into Nashville, Louisville, more snow heading towards Ohio on Friday. Then where it goes from there, we're not quite sure yet, but one thing is for sure, tens of millions of Americans are going to feel problems with this yet again.
Is a real-life snow globe here in Atlanta, but this snow and wintry weather really strikes a nerve with people in the deep south. They recall what happened with Snowmageddon back in 2014, grinding this city to a halt. Will that happen today? Well, we've seen some positive signs already. Salt trucks treating the roadways, electrical vehicles moving by if we do have any problems with electricity, but you can see the snow and sleet is already accumulating and falling from the sky so fast that it's actually forming here on the I-75-85 corridor, the connector here in Midtown Atlanta, which is blanketed in snow. The real concern, though, is what will happen later today. We have seen a warming trend with this particular winter storm. Right now, it's fluffy light snow, but as the temperatures warm, things will change. Let me explain. If we want all snow in Atlanta, pretend this is the atmosphere. I'm a parent. These are Duplos. Yes, I'm playing with Legos this morning, but this is temperatures representative below freezing. If a snowflake falls through that, it falls to the ground as snow. But what we've seen is temperatures in the lower levels of the atmosphere just above me here, warming above 32 degrees. So that snowflake melts, and then it doesn't have enough time to refreeze into these beautiful snowflakes, and it falls to the ground as freezing rain. That's what we're worried about. Quarter inch to even a half an inch of ice potential from Atlanta north.
You never want to be in this situation, and it's why authorities are warning tens of millions to stay off icy roads this weekend. These wild scenes played out in the Wichita Metro as Winter Storm Blair just made driving conditions worse and worse. And as the storm pushes east, we expect to see more of the same, as ice accumulations in parts of Missouri and Kentucky will make driving very dangerous.
This morning, from Topeka to Atlantic City, millions are waking up in the bitter footprint left behind a deadly winter storm. At least 9 died in crashes across 5 states. It's been 6 years since the nation's capital had this much snow, crippling some airports. Reagan shutting down all of its runways last night. More than 2,000 flights canceled across the nation and nearly 7,000 delayed. 8 states and Washington, D.C. declaring a state of emergency. Many federal buildings and public schools closed again today.
It's crazy. I've never seen so much snow. I've lived here about all my life.
In Virginia, a weather-related power outage caused the city of Richmond's water systems to malfunction. For now, they have to boil their water before they use it. More than 10 inches of snow in Cincinnati gave them their biggest snow in 9 years. Crews shutting down highways, abandoned tractor trailers littering roads. Over the weekend, cars and semi-trucks were skating across overpasses in Wichita, Kansas. Thousands left without power in Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. That destructive glaze of ice bringing down power lines and trees. Kevin Workman says he only had 30 seconds to get out of the way before this tree crashed into his West Virginia home.
I hadn't got up to get that coffee, I'd probably be dead right now. It just wiped out the chair that I was sitting in.
The wind chill is 9 right now here, but obviously it's going to be a cold day trying to get all these cars that skidded out around Washington, D.C. We have video from WJLA there showing what the roads still look like. It's definitely going to be a slow go where they had not treated some of the roads or where they hadn't been cleared fully after this snow. Now, we have to focus on what happens next. So it's about the cold. That's not going anywhere, by the way. The wind chill alerts and freeze alerts go from New Mexico, and Tucson even has it, all the way over into Florida. Orlando, wind chill this morning just above freezing along the Gulf Coast there. And it's going to stick around for the next couple of mornings before the next storm comes in. This is late Wednesday night, mostly Thursday into Friday when it develops North Texas, Texarkana over to Little Rock. The timing really is going to bring snow on that northern end like the Red River Valley, Robin, all the way up through eventually Nashville and even Huntsville, Alabama by the end of the week. And yes, it will get to the Mid-Atlantic, bringing us more snow by the weekend.
Well, we're going to check with you again in just a little bit. Thank you, Ginger.
Snowflakes falling on my head, winter magic as we tread, footprints making trails anew in this wonderland with you. Icicles hang from every tree, frozen rivers set them free, frosty breath in harmony, winter song our melody. We're living in a winter wonderland, holding tight, hand in hand, lost in a frosty fairyland. Together we can understand. Northern lights spark in the sky, blues and greens that catch the eye, whispered secrets in the breeze, frozen moments, memories. We're living in a winter wonderland, holding tight, hand
As we
in hand,
reflect on the
lost
storms
in a
and fires
fuzzy
that have swept through our lands, displacing families, destroying homes, and testing our faith, we pause to lift up all who have been affected. May the Almighty grant peace to those mourning their losses, courage to those rebuilding their lives, and hope to those struggling to find their way. Let these moments of trial remind us of the fragility of life and the importance of turning our hearts to repentance. In the days of Noah, many ignored the warnings until it was too late. Let us not follow that path, but instead heed the call to seek forgiveness, reconcile with one another, and walk in alignment with divine truth. May the pain and devastation we witness move us to compassion, humility, and a renewed dedication to living righteously. We pray for healing rains to cleanse the scorched earth, for stillness to calm the raging winds, and for the unity of communities to rebuild what has been lost. May God's mercy surround us all, His wisdom guide our decisions, and His love remind us that we are never alone in our suffering. Let these tribulations strengthen our spirits, draw us closer to one another, and deepen our faith in the Creator's plan. For it is in these moments of brokenness that we can find the grace to rise again, renewed, restored, and ready to walk the path of light and truth. Amen. Be balanced. Be excellent. Just be.